Hello, thank you all for being here today with us. I welcome you. I am Paola Guthrie from Creating Purpose with Pao. I welcome you to the Spanglish World Network and Heart Network on Single TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download the Single TV app on the respective app store. The app is totally free. You can download it and please leave a comment because feedback is so important to us. Like I said, the app Single TV is totally free. You can find it on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Amazon Fire TV Stick. I'm sorry, I'm always messed up on this, but it's like you can find it on Fire TV Stick, Roku sticks, and all smart TVs from 2016 and forward. So thank you for being here. Like I said, welcome you. I welcome you all, and I welcome a very special guest. He is an awesome individual. He's a fire walker. He is a NLP instructor and a neuroencoding specialist. His name is Adham Chalabi. So thank you so much for being here. We worked through technology today, and happy birthday. Today is his birthday, and he's choosing it to spend it with us. So thank you.
Thank you, Paola. Thank you so much for having me. I knew it was just a matter of time to be here. So thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Captain Adham, and by profession, I'm a trainer of NLP and hypnosis. But by trade, I coach people to really eliminate their fears, their limitations, the negative emotion that stops them from going to the next level in their life, business, and relationship. I'm originally from Venezuela, which is why I have this beautiful accent. So thank you again, Paola, for having me. It's my pleasure and honor to be here.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Please share with the audience a little bit about you so they get to know you more.
Mhm.
What inspired you to be a fire walker?
Well, fear was what inspires me to go
Fear.
firewalk. I know. I was born with so much curiosity, and I always wanted to learn everything under the sun, everything. But I would struggle a lot with fears, my limitations, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. I just didn't. So I said, I'm gonna firewalk. How awesome will it be to take off my shoes and walk through barefoot into fire? So I went to become a firewalk trainer. But to be honest, what got me there was my curiosity. All I do in my life is to follow my curiosity. How I find my purpose, how I find what I do, is just by following my curiosity.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And for some of you, I mean, I haven't been fire walk. I haven't walked on fire yet. I'm planning to do that. And the reason why it to me is like so amazing is because whenever we push our limit just an inch, then your brain goes like, oh wow, it's like you can do so much more than just
Yeah,
what you do now. So that's what
yeah,
it's like I admire you because I haven't walked through fire yet. I'm planning on doing it, soon. And for those of you that think, they're thinking, what did he do? That's crazy. The reason why, I mean, it's because, once you push yourself just an inch, then after that, you're like, oh, wow, what else can I do? What else can I accomplish? So yes, I'm so proud
absolutely.
because
What I love about firewalking the most, what firewalking is just a metaphor. Everybody learn from firewalking is if you can walk through fire, you can walk through anything in life. For me, it was my learnings of firewalking was believing in myself. Here's the thing: when you're in front, barefooted, when you're in front of the fire, whatever stops you in your life, in your business, in your relationship, whatever is that's stopping you in those areas of your life is gonna show up in the fire, and that's what's gonna stop you there. So once you walk to the fire, you send a neurological signal to your body, to your mind, to your neurology to start rewiring together to think different, what's possible. Because once you're in front of the fire, metaphorically, the fire becomes that that's stopping you. It's so much more than just the walk. It's not about the walk. It's not about the fire. It's the person you become at the other side of it. It's breaking through because now your brain thinks, wait a minute, if I can walk through fire, what can I do? So it is normally I've walked over 100 times already, almost 200 times, and every time I walk, there's a new learning, a new experience. whatever it is, no matter how much times, it's just an incredible life-changing experience.
Yes, we're part of a group, and he messaged things like, "Oh, I walked like 100 and something times." We're like, "What?" It was like, there was a lot of growth on that weekend. So proud of you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Now, share with us, what is NLP? A lot of people don't know what NLP is, and what inspired you to learn and now share and teach others.
Well, let me work that backwards. What inspired me to share and teach that to others is it's in me. My whole family been teachers, dean of school, so it's in me to teach and train others. It's what I'm all about. What's NLP? Well, there's as many definitions as practitioners out there, but NLP is basically the study of what works and how to replicate it. So, for example, nothing that comes from NLP comes from NLP. Everything is just modeling. Is the only thing that came from NLP. So the founders of NLP, they just start modeling what worked from different modalities, from hypnotherapy, from neuroscientists, from psychologists, from every aspect that will help people, and they model it and make a process of how anyone can do that. So the reason why I love NLP, well, because you might know me, I love learning. I love to just push myself to the next level. And NLP allows me to observe someone's behavior, to observe someone doing something excellent and replicate that and just be as excellent, if not more. So that's what inspired me. It was again curiosity. And I don't think I do anything in my life that's out of curiosity. Like it really hit me. It really bothers me to find people, especially in my generation, saying that I don't know what I want to do in my life. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my passion is. What do you mean you don't know? Just follow your curiosity. You're not supposed to know. Follow what innately you are curious about. As children, we were born curious, didn't I? Didn't we? We're curious about everything. You have kids, we just curious about anything, everything under the world. If you just follow that curiosity, what we are naturally curious about, I guarantee you, you're set to find your purpose, your passion, what makes you feel alive and passionate to do.
Yes, you and I share a beautiful mentor, and from her, I've learned is like, don't judge, be curious. And since then, is like my life is like gave another shift where it's like I don't judge anymore. I'm teaching myself, do not judge, be
That's right.
curious. In the world of opportunities that open up to understand other people, and especially those that are around you, it's
Yes.
like it's just a blessing to like stop judging and become
Mm.
curious. In the magic will appear where you'll begin to grow and
Yeah.
understand others and be able to express those core values, your love, your peace, understanding, and just connecting. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Curiosity is just, how you will say that in English, is your God-given right to be curious, to be creative. It's like that makes you. So absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. And like, I think whenever we adopt fear, then we kill our
Mm,
curiosity. Don't you think? It's like as we get older, and
100%.
yeah, I try not to do that as a mom now that I know. It's like I try not to instill fear, but curiosity and understanding to my children, because I think we were programmed, and our parents were just uh, protecting us, and especially Hispanic parents.
Yeah.
They're
They were
very protective.
in my line of work, there's a saying, people do the best they can with the resources they have.
Yes,
So that's huge and taking responsibility. They just did the best they could with the resources they have.
yes, yes, of course. Yes, they did what they could, and now is our job to develop the curiosity now and pass it down to our future generations now that we know better. So,
Absolutely.
yes, thank you. Now, tell us a little bit about you traveling different countries. What has it been like, and what has been your biggest lessons?
Good, good. So in the beginning, I have to tell you that I hated it because we didn't move to different countries because we wanted to or because I wanted to. It was we had to move. We every year we would just be in different houses in different school. That really affected me. I couldn't fit in. I was the kid that you couldn't fit in any school because before I knew we were moving somewhere else. But to me, it was a curse. But when I look closer with a magnifying glass, it was a blessing because my biggest lesson, like the biggest thing that that do to you is it opens your mind because you meet just so many different people, different way of thinking, different cultures, different. It's just amazing how your mind opens once you get out of your comfort zone, and that's one of the biggest thing that for me when all the trips, all the traveling. Now it's funny how patterns work because now all I do is just go to state, travel at it because now I want to. I don't have to, but I love it. So that's funny how patterns work. And just getting out of your comfort zone, opening your mindset, your mentality, expand your psychology. I always said that the best formula for success, actually, if it comes to finding your purpose, finding and growing, learning, the best formula is to get out of your comfort zone with a dose of curiosity. Whatever your comfort zone, some people comfort zone could be their home. Some people comfort zone could be the community or the state or the country. If you step out of that comfort zone with that dose of curiosity, oh my God, the adventures you are in for, the growth, the it's just magnificent.
Yes. And I think, I don't know about you, but I think gratitude comes in the package.
It does comes in the package.
You know,
It does.
you hear other people that has an experience what you have. And I see it with my children, because I grew up in Mexico. Now I live here in the US, and there's times where I have to rewrite their story, where I'm like, well, you might be complaining now, but if you were in this scenario, that's how I grew up, and it was just fine. So
Yes,
teaching them different scenarios is like rewrite the story because they're only seeing one side. There is
right.
more because like there's other people out there in different side of the world that are experiencing something totally different that sometimes for us could be like a disadvantage, but to them it's a blessing.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And I love that you say that about gratitude because the amount of people that I've met in my trips, the amount of amazing people, I'm so blessed and grateful to have to meet them, connect with them, with my mentors, with my friends, with amazing people who honestly made who I am today, who I model to become the man I'm proud to be now. That's a huge gratitude that that I appreciate at least.
So for some of our viewers right here, like at first you thought, when you were younger, it was a curse that you had to move from country to country or from town to town, and you just didn't like it because you couldn't see the good angle, the benefits of it. For
Yes.
some of our viewers right now, how could you tell them what are some of the steps that we could share with them that they can learn to rewrite that story just like you did? Share with us how you learned to rewrite that, like you felt like it was a curse, but now when you got the magnifying glass and you're like, oh wow, that's a blessing. I see that now. How can we invite them to rewrite their story?
Excellent, excellent. I love that question. I'm very happy you asked that. And to me, it was learning to be at the cause of my life instead of the effect side of my life. Now, what does that mean? When you live at the effect side of life, that's like life happening to you. Oh my God, now I have to move again. Oh my God, now I have to try to fit in again. Oh my God, why again? Me, and complaining and playing the victim. That's living at the effect side of life. And that's how I was in my early years. But now that I learned, I want to be at the cause effect, at the cause side of my life, meaning life happens for me. To really understand that nugget, that life happens for you, no matter how bad it is. No matter, I know people go through terrible things in their life. I went through it, but understanding that that was for me, for my growth, for the persona I am now. That is will change your mindset, your psychology, your neurology. to have that magnifying glass to understand what a blessing. So what does it mean to take to be a cause? What does it mean that what does it mean to really understand life happens for me? Is to take responsibility. Listen, I didn't. It wasn't my fault that we have to move so much and growing up. It wasn't my fault. Everything that the trauma, the thing that I went through. But I am responsible to respond in my life how I want to end up like, who I want to be as. I'm responsible for that. Yesterday I was with a client and he was mentioning to me a podcast that he listened about Jim Quick, I believe was it. I don't remember. And he said definition of responsibility is the ability to respond. The ability to respond in your life to whatever happens in your life for you. So what does that mean? In this side of the world, and this is another thing that I learned in traveling a lot, in this Western side of the world, fault and responsibility come together, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. What do I mean? Well, if someone leaves a newborn baby in the step of your house, how on earth is that your fault? It's not your fault. But now you're responsible to how you're gonna respond. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna call the authorities? Are you gonna child support or whatever it is? You're responsible now. And whatever action you take, well, you have an effect of that. So really taking responsibility, being a cause of your life. You're the creator of your life. It happens for you. It's what helped. The first thing that helped me to rewrite my story. Because here's the thing: no matter all the techniques, NLP, all the hypnosis, all the timeline therapy, no matter if you even I am the best coach in the world, if my client is not willing to be a cause of his life and change his life, there's nothing no one can do. So you start by being a cause.
Yes. For anybody right now, that are ready to rewrite the story of your life, look
Yes.
back and see what you gain, what you learn, now through each and every single one of those situations that left you a sour flavor, a bitter flavor in your life. Is like, go back and it's like, what did I learn? How am I a better person now? And I would wrap it up with gratitude and find a purpose. This happened for me so that I can teach others or that I can better this new generation. It happened for me because it stops with me. What about that? Don't you think it's like it, all of my childhood traumas, they happen for me because they stop with my generation and I get to improve the future generation with my children. It starts at home.
Absolutely.
Yes. So,
Absolutely.
and it comes with that gratitude where it's like, oh God, thank you. I didn't expect it. It's like it happened for me for a reason. I'm going to learn from the best of it. And I'm going to make sure that stops with me and make sure that
Absolutely.
my future generation have more content, more knowledge, better psychology, a more intelligent emotional management. So
Yes.
thank you. Yes, thank you for sharing that because we all have the opportunity to live at our cost, like you're saying, instead of
Yes.
from the effect of what's happening in our lives, not
Yes.
reacting. But there is a phrase
Responding.
from yes, there is a phrase from Viktor Frankl that now that you mentioned is like in any stimulus, you know, there is the space between the stimulus and that response, and that is your freedom to choose that response. So yeah, thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Love
Yes.
that.
Uh, so tell us about the youth. I know you love to work with the youth. It's one of your favorite passions you share with me in the past. Tell me, what is the core message that you think our youth needs now?
Hmm. My core message for the youth right now, being a youth myself, not too long ago, uh, is to be a cause of their life, just as we spoke about. It really saddens me to see in social media or people that I know who are my generation, my age, and it's like between them, it's like a game of who has it worse, who has the worst past, who has the worst trauma, who has the worst parents. And I'm like, wait, why are you guys engaging in this kind of conversation? They live at it's like it's a who can stay at the effect side of life the longer. And it's a game that I refuse to play. And I'm just thinking, who is teaching them to be a cause? Who is teaching them to understand their emotions, to understand their thinking, to understand the world around them? Like, who is out there teaching them that? We live in a world that it puts us at the effect side of life. And that saddens me to see kids, the youth there. So my core message for the youth is be a cause, take responsibility. It might not, I understand it might not be your fault, but you are responsible to how you're gonna end up like. I had all the reason plus one to be a very messed up person today. I truly do. But it's my responsibility whether I'm gonna choose to be a messed up person or to choose to be who I'm proud to be now. And here's the truth.
Yeah.
Here's the truth. Here's where the paradox come. Even if you actively choose to be at the effect side of life, you still choosing that. So you still at cause in a bad way, but you choosing to be at the effect. It's your decision. And I teach my students that it's not a limiting belief, it's a limiting decision because a decision precedes the belief. So when my clients or my students come to a limiting belief to me, and they tell me, I have this limiting belief, I'm like, when did you decide that? Immediately, my job is to put them a cause of the belief they have. When did you decide that?
Yeah. Beautiful. Because each decision defines our destiny.
Each decision
Right?
defines their destiny. Absolutely.
You know, what I mean? Is like like it could be working out. If we get up in the morning, if we do our 30-minute walk, it's like that decision will define your health.
Yes.
Eating one cake versus a small piece of cake, is the decision that we make that will define uh, our future. And yes, it's like I agree with you. It's like if we can teach them to see that they're like they're in control and
Yes.
they're always building the masterpiece within them. Like that's one of the things I have the privilege to work with the youth this couple of months, and one of the things I'm teaching them is like you get to stretch the leader within you. It's like
Yes.
you in their beautiful eyes is like knowing that they have the opportunity to become leaders is like it's within, it is within you. So speak up,
Yes.
like if you have a question, please speak up. And they do, like it helps. Some of them is like it settles down because it's like give me the definition of the leader, and then they give me the definition of their leader, a good leader. And then I said, okay, so you get to decide from now on to stretch that identity within you to become an amazing leader. So if you have a question, he's like, please come to me, ask. I'm here to help you. And I see their little eyes. So it's like, oh, I can do that. Yeah, you're capable to do that. Sometimes they need that awareness, right? Sometimes they just don't know what is possible. So, yes.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love what you share. If you have a question, raise your hand, like speak up. I with my students, I tell them, take responsibility for your learnings, take responsibility for your change. Because here's the thing, if I'm teaching you right now NLP or whatever it is I'm gonna teach you and train you on, if you don't understand something I'm saying, that's not because of me. I mean, it could be because I'm not presenting right or because my accent, but ultimately, again, who has the responsibility to raise their hand and ask me a question? Take responsibility for
Yeah.
yourself, for your learning, for your change. That's putting them a cost. That's putting them a cost.
Yes, because that's what I said. It's like a true leader doesn't leave a meeting with questions
Yeah.
because they're there to ask questions and get the problem solved.
Yes.
That's, I try to bring those scenarios so that they can be like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, a true leader has courage. So I need somebody to stand up today. I need 3 people to stand up today and do this. And you can see their little eyes. And whenever they stand up and they do what they have to do, I shake their hands and I said, I'm so proud of you for choosing to show your courage, your academic skills, and to shine. You see the hesitation, but I think they need that trust.
Mhm.
They need that encouragement. That there are good decisions out there for them to make. That's going to build them up. Build that leader within them. Build that beautiful soul within them. So I'm so happy every time you share stories about the youth, because it's like I know that they need every little, nourishment of positivity and light in their lives. So I appreciate you for doing that. What about the parents? What message would you give us as parents? That I have a my son's gonna be 17 years old on Thursday. So you guys
Really?
share kind of close birthdays. Yes. So he's gonna be 17 on the 17th of this month. So I have a teenager. So what message do you have for us parents
Hmm.
to be conscious about our youth?
I love that you said to be conscious about the youth. I really I really have confliction with that question because first I'm not a father, obviously. I'm still too young. So I'm gonna answer that not as a father, but I'm gonna answer that as a child, as a son myself, because I'm a son. And when I put that question on and I ask myself, what did I need the most out of my parents? The two things that comes to my mind is first, it just came right now hearing you and speaking is the encouragement to encourage me to nourish those faculties as curiosity, creativity, our genius within to really nourish that. And second, and the most important thing is to really listen to me, to really to really be the person I can go and speak to. And when I say listen, I don't mean just to listen what I have to say, because as a child, and this goes to any kid, as any child, we struggle with our emotions. We struggle to understand what we're feeling, what we're going through. Like we truly struggle with it. And you can see this and you can see this in adults as well, that they struggle to verbalize their emotion, to understand what they're going through. So what do? We act out. And I was yesterday I saw a real video of a guy, I think it was Ryan, and he said that behavior is the language of kids. Behavior is the language of kids because we don't understand what we're going through. We don't understand. We just coming out to the newly freshly to the world. It's a new thing, the emotion. So when we cannot verbalize, we cannot speak what we're feeling. So what do? We act out. And what do parents usually do? They love us, they want the best of us, and they spank us. To really listen not to not only what I say, but what I don't say, what I cannot say. To really develop that sensory acuity and listen to what is not being said. Why am I acting out? Growing up, I had a lot and lot of anger issue actually. You have no idea. I struggled with anger all my life. Actually, until a few years ago, I was able to release all that anger, all that resentment. I didn't have someone to talk to. I didn't feel that I could be listened to. So to me, when I put that question on, I mean that's the number one thing I would need from my parents is to have someone I can speak with and someone who will listen to me.
That's beautiful. Parents out there, if you're listening to us, listen to what he has to say, because you don't know his story yet. His story can move you to become a better parent. And I'm gonna have to invite you another time whenever you're ready to share your story for all those
Oh,
parents that need to
definitely.
listen to. So I'm gonna add a little bit. Like he's asking us to listen to our children. And in order for us to listen to our children with experience, we have to we have to erase our rules just for a little bit, because as parents we have standards, and those standards make us feel a good parent, and we must sometimes we feel like we must follow those, keep up with that standard. And that standard means I am the boss and you have to listen to me. We because we have the idea that a good parent does that. It's like I am the boss and you're going to listen to me. Let me tell you what my rules go. And that's a pattern that I had and I adopted at my early stage of parenting, and it doesn't work because it stopped me from loving my child. It has stopped me from truly listening to my child, what they truly need from the bottom of their heart. Like Adham is sharing, that we have to learn to listen even what they're not expressing. And at times we have to let go of those rules. I mean, just practice, let go of those rules at least for 30 minutes while you're having a conversation with your child, so that you get to know him, you get to know her, and what they truly need. Because sometimes they only need, like girls, they only want, they just want you to listen. uh, boys, which I'm still learning, is like asking questions. Well, what does that make you, what idea do you get out of it? Boys are more left brain, and I'm learning about that. Girls are more right brain, and it's more about feelings and expressing their emotions, right? But I love that you're sharing. Yeah, we have to learn to encourage them in any situation. Like, let me share an experience. His birthday is Thursday. We had plans for Saturday. They fell through. Like, yesterday he's like, well, this is not going to be able, such and such won't be able to show up. And I said, just remember, I said that every day is a celebration. I said, every day can be your birthday. So you get to decide what you want to do. Just make sure that falling through of plans won't ruin your birthday. It's like that encouragement where it's like, every day can be your birthday. Every day is a celebration for life. So, it's like, try to just try to encourage them in this, and in this case where it's like, you can still celebrate it. You have the power within you to create the reality of a celebration. Nobody has to be, like, I don't play a role. You get to create it, because that's one of the things I try to teach them is like, I don't make you happy, you make yourself happy. It was like, you have the love, the gratitude, the laughter within you already. You just have to figure out how to express it. Anyways, that's just probably a topic from another show.
Oh, now you'll have to invite me to that show because I have a lot to say about that there. Now we can spend another two
Oh,
hours, but yes.
yes, yes. I mean, we parents were like in my case, I'm thirst and hunger for more knowledge, because it's through practice, through listening, and through learning a little bit more and practicing that we learn. And try not to judge your child, try to be curious. And this comes from
Yeah.
Dino Keller.
Yes. Be
So
curious.
yes, be curious, as we are encouraging them. Why do they feel that way? Because their
Yeah.
behavior doesn't define them. They're still good. Everybody's
Yeah.
good. We just
Yeah.
have to, modify our behavior where it serves our purpose.
Yes.
So our
It's like
children are
what
beautiful.
they are. Like, what are they trying to say with what they did? Like, there's always a reason for what we, even as adults, there's always a reason for our behavior. What are they trying to say with their behavior? Be
Yes.
curious. Ask questions.
Yes, yes, because we're all, we all have the potential to be amazing human beings. Just have to,
Yes.
sometimes we just have to find the light and to find the right strategies and motivation, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, what's hypnosis? I know you love hypnosis and it's one of your specialties. So please share with us what hypnosis is, because I have no clue.
Okay. Good. So
I
every
mean,
time I have to speak, every time I have to talk about hypnosis, I can't help but think about Harry Potter. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
oh yes, yes, yes.
If for those of you who haven't watched the latest movies, I'm sorry, I'm gonna spoil it. And this was when Harry he was in the last battle with Voldemort, and he gave his hand in to Voldemort in order to save his school and his friends and all that, and all the battle to finish. And Voldemort, he was like, he can't believe his selflessness. So if you remember, he Avada Kedavra him, and he went to this next other side, the other plane. But it was weird because it was familiar. It was like the train station back to his home. It was eerie. It was weird. It was all was painted in white. There, he find his old mentor, Albus Dumbledore, and he asked, "Professor, is this real? Is any of this real?" I think that's a wonderful question. Every time we are talking about hypnosis, Paola, is any of our problems even real? To which people ask me, is hypnosis even real? To which I often answer, have you ever watched a movie? Then you'll be in hypnosis, you'll be in trance. Have you ever, Paola, drove a car and all of a sudden you were thinking something else, and before you knew, time disappeared and you were in home, you got back home, and you said, oh my God, who's been driving the car for the past 30 minutes? Or stuff like that. That is a trance-like state. So you might think that you don't know nothing about hypnosis, but you'll be surprised that you go into trance, you go into hypnosis all day long, every day, nonstop. Hypnosis, to answer your question, what is hypnosis? I find it better and easier to answer the question, what is not? What hypnosis is not? And I say that because there's a lot of controversial out there. Hypnosis is not sleeping. If you're sleeping, you're not hypnotized. You are bye-bye asleep. Hypnosis
Okay.
is not blackout. It's not unconscious state. It's not your blackout that you everything is black. You don't know what's going on. You don't hear nothing. It's not that. Hypnosis is not loss of control. I cannot make you do anything out of your values. So if we were in a session and I would tell you, now, Paola, go and rob a bank, you will be like, wait, rob a bank? No, I'm not going to do that. I cannot make you, hypnosis cannot make you do anything that you don't want to do. Oh, well, unless you are a robber and you are already presupposed to rob a bank, like, of course, that's out of the conversation. But, and hypnosis is not for weak-minded people. In fact, it's my belief that weak-minded people cannot be hypnotized, but that's another thing for another day. So that then, what is it? Hypnosis. What is hypnotherapy? I am, as a trainer, I'm very surprised to see that there's as many definitions of hypnosis as there are practitioners out there. But they all agree upon the definition of it's a heightened, altered state of super suggestibility. A heightened, altered state of super suggestibility. Hypnosis is an act of imagination. In my opinion, imagination is what makes hypnosis even possible. Don't you see that when you're daydreaming and you're driving your car, you're just imagining, or when you're watching a movie, you're imagining.
Yes.
Uh, Hypnosis is, hmm, the as a brain trainer yourself, the brainwave states. You have gamma and alpha and theta and delta. Once you
Yes.
start in alpha, now you are under hypnosis. Now you start getting into trance state. Now kids, for the first 7 years of their life, they live in a theta altered state. They live in hypnosis. That's why they absorb everything as a sponge. So that's what hypnosis is and what it isn't.
Oh, yeah. And how can that benefit us?
Oh my God, how I cannot benefit you? I'm like, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications, which I'm not gonna bore you with all of them because weight loss, stop smoking, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you how I benefit from hypnosis. And this is the hypnosis that I mainly teach. Is you first need to understand that every learning, every change, and every behavior is unconscious. That's a very important thing to understand. Every learning, every change, and every behavior is unconscious.
How
Hypnosis,
does that
people,
become unconscious?
sorry,
How does that become unconscious?
it never,
How is that unconscious?
good question. So, Paula, you are a bright person. You're so smart and you have a lot of knowledge, but you don't hold all that knowledge in your conscious minds, do you? Otherwise, you become crazy. That's why every learning, memory, emotion is stored in your unconscious mind. Every behavior. If I tell my mind to take my hand and open up, yes, I have conscious volition of that action. But what's the process of the behavior? It's unconscious. I cannot think of every single muscle, every single fiber, every single bone that needs to move, every single neurological aspect that needs to happen in order for me to move my hand. I just do it out of habit. It's unconscious, that behavior, and also the change. So, well, I'll leave that for later. So again, the way I benefit from hypnosis, oh my God, you're gonna love this. Actually, if you have kids, all of you are gonna love this. I love learning. So what do I do? You ready? You know
Yes.
how kids, have you seen the picture of a mind There's a circle with a line in the middle. The top is the conscious mind, and the below is the unconscious mind. The
Yes.
kids for the first 7 years, they haven't developed the critical faculty. They haven't developed the the prefrontal cortex, right? So everything goes straight to where? To the unconscious. So something that I love doing is I like to open my unconscious because my unconscious now has a critical faculty. I've developed that. I'm mature. So what I love to do every time that I'm learning, studying, I open my unconscious and let all the information to drop inside. And I'm amazed because sometimes I go out there, I'm gonna teach, I'm gonna present. How do I know this? Because I don't realize that I know it because I open my unconscious mind through the techniques that I use and teach, let all the information in, then I close it, and there you go. It's like instant memory. I met a girl when was last week in October, I believe was it. I went to assist in Texas to an NLP training there. And she told me the story of how she taught her kid, her child, to do the same thing, to open her mind, her unconscious mind in school, let all the information in, and when it's time to go home, he will just close so his unconscious mind, and he will just enter studies. There are actually studies that show how kids' grades improve by doing these practices. Now,
It,
change. Sorry? Yes?
is this with hypnosis? What you're
Yeah,
explaining us? Like, oh, okay, cool.
absolutely. Again,
Okay.
hypnosis is not a sleep unconscious state. Right now, I am in trance. I'm in hypnosis. Right now, you are in trance. You cannot speak or listen about hypnosis and not get into hypnosis yourself. It's a normal state that you go all day long and you're not aware of. One of my trainers told me that hypnosis is learning to, to get into trance, but more importantly, is learning to wake up because you always are in trance. Right now, we are in trance. We cannot talk about hypnosis and not be in trance. It's quite fascinating how it works. Change. In my business, I have a motto. I have a saying. Every change, every lasting change has to be fast, simple, and empowering. So when it happens fast, change happens immediately. Now this makes people crazy. Like, what are you talking about? Change is not immediate. It took me 5 years to break through. It took me this amount of time to achieve that, to finally change to what I say. No, 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 no. It took you 5 years to get to the tipping point, to get to the point, that tipping point of change. When change happens, when you are at that tipping point, when change happens, it's immediate. So hypnosis helps you to really uh, go further faster into that tipping point of change.
Okay.
Whatever is that stopping you, you can go into your unconscious because your unconscious mind is 95% of your mind power. All
Okay.
the programming is there.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So sometimes the tipping point for some people to change is pain. It's like to
Hmm.
go to that 1 inch deeper pain that they're like, that's
Good,
it, no more. I'm going to
good.
change. Like
Yeah,
I'm going to walk away from this relationship. I'm going to lose weight, that I'm sick of this. It could be I'm going to stop, smoking. It could be I'm going to stop doing, like this is not serving me anymore. And then it takes them to go to a deeper level of pain in order for them to change. What type of change are you talking about? 'Cause educate me.
behavioral change and almost any kind of change. Yes, pain will get you to the point of I need to change now. How about if you get to that point without the pain? How much pain can you save yourself, save others to get to the point of change naturally without the pain? I'm a big fan of avoiding pain. Don't get me wrong. I don't like pain. I rather change without the pain than having to really have that pain to move me. Like,
Okay.
why would I want to wait until I hit rock bottom to have had the pain? Why do I have to wait to be on the worst relationship to finally change who I am? Why would I wait for the pain? Yes, pain is a great motivator, don't get me wrong. It's not the only one. So change happens immediately once you're in that tipping point, whatever reason got you to that tipping point, whether pain or pleasure.
Okay.
So hypnosis is really good to. So hypnosis is really good
You're still
to
here. We still see you and hear
get
you.
to that point of change. Yes. The other one is behavior. Oh, don't get me started with this one. Our behavior is unconscious. Like I told you with the example of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
But why does that matter? What makes that so important? Who here is planning to make a New Year's resolution? I know I am.
I know.
Who here sets goals? And if your conscious mind is the one that moves your body, the unconscious mind is the one that dictates your behavior. So why don't you
So
take the
our
behavior?
so our unconscious mind is the one that dictates our behavior.
Absolutely. You're not consciously thinking of how you behave. Your conscious mind is 5% of your mind power. And here's what I think. When you set a goal, your conscious mind is the goal setter. And
Oh,
your unconscious mind is the goal getter. It gets the goal. Now, then
okay.
why doesn't your unconscious mind? Your unconscious mind is a servo mechanism that gets whatever you ask it to get. Then why doesn't it get your goals? There's a lot of reasons. Because in your unconscious mind, the 90% of the mind power is full of negative emotion, limiting decision, and belief. There's no clarity. Clarity is a huge one. Your unconscious mind needs clarity of direction in order to get to the goal. When you ask kids or people, anyone, what do you want? I don't know. I know that I don't want this. I don't want that. Blah blah blah. They're not clear of where they wanna go. So if you're clear to where you're gonna go, is that gonna assure you to get your goal? Not really. Why? Because you still need to be clear of where you are right now. Just like your GPS, your unconscious mind needs direction of where to go and where it's gonna start. In order to have a clear direction of where to take you, where to move your behavior towards. And also, if you go able to go into your unconscious mind and eliminate the behavior that doesn't serve you and align it to the behavior that's going to help you towards your goal, that's how powerful is that. So if you get direction where you're going to go and where you are, does that gonna is that going to assure you to get your goal? Not really. Why? Because where you focus on, you create. But where you tend your focus on is not really where you focus on. If my goal my goal must be positive. But if my goal, now, okay, so listen carefully. If I say positive, I don't mean that I can, rah, 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 positive thinking. No, no, no. Your goal must be positive. And what do I mean is a negative goal, a negative vision is like something that I want because I want to avoid something else. So if I want $1 million just because I want to avoid being poor, what message does my unconscious mind get and gets? Not trying to be poor. So that's what I get. If I want something in order to get something else, well, that is a negative vision as well. If I want $1 million just because I want to be loved, what message I'm giving my unconscious mind? That I'm not worth it of love, I'm not worth it of this. So I create that. I don't create the $1 million. I create the unconscious focus I have on. So yeah,
I have a question. I've heard, I've read, and I mean, I some as an area that I would love to learn more. It says that your conscious mind doesn't register negative. Like if you tell her do not eat cake, then it doesn't register the negative, like don't eat cake, but then you'll eat cake. So how is it true?
it is true. Yes and no. It is true. It doesn't register, but in the immediately, but in the long term, it does register. So why is that? If I say don't think of a blue tree, absolutely whatever you do, don't think of a blue tree. What do you
I'm
think?
thinking of literally.
A
Yes.
blue tree. Why? How will you know what something is not before you know what something is? How will you know how your mind, unconscious mind will know what a blue tree is not before they know what it is? So it has to pull that first. Now that
Okay.
a blue tree, don't think on that, but you already thought about it. I don't want to be poor. Your unconscious mind has to bring up what is to be poor. Oh, and it keeps that and it creates that.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to come back. We only have a minute left. Please announce your challenge, please.
Absolutely. So for all of you who wants to learn more how to use hypnosis, there's a free 3-day challenge, a self hypnosis challenge, where you can learn how to use this for learning. And if you learn this, you can teach it to your kids. How awesome is that? And how to use it for change, real lasting change, and also to use it for aligning and rewiring your behavior towards the goal you want. It's a free 3-day challenge day. You can find
Yeah,
me
I think I would
on
enjoy it.
Instagram. It's
And
amazing. You can teach this to your kids, and it's very beneficial. So You can hit me on
Yeah.
the Instagram and anything.
And are you Instagram, Facebook? Where else can they find you? What else can they find you?
LinkedIn and Instagram,
Link.
Captain Adham, and Facebook, I'm Adham Chalabi. So if you want to join and just keep learning about this, I kid you not, in 6 months or maybe 8 months, where I was to where I am right now, the growth and learning and where I am in just 6 months of learning and applying this is further more than the first 20 years of my life together. How powerful is that?
Awesome. Please share the link with me and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. If you guys enjoy this interview, go to my YouTube channel, Paola Guthrie, and I'll share the link on the description below. And then you can, because I want to join, and then you can click in there and register. I want to learn more about it. Okay, before we go, if somebody is looking for like to improve their finances as they're going to apply for a better paying job, what should they be thinking?
I'm sorry, can you ask the question again? I maybe didn't understand it.
Okay, if somebody's trying to earn just a little bit more and they're going to apply for a job or they're about to move higher up, what should they be thinking instead of like they want more money? What should be the right thinking mindset?
Well, that's a big generalization. I can tell you exactly what, but here's
Okay.
something you can look at is why do you want it? What creates that? It's like a fear of not having the money. Is do you want something else? Because to create something, you just want it just for the love of wanting it.
Okay,
If you want
abundance.
more abundance,
Go from abundance from and see what you want to provide for your family. That's what I'm getting out of it. We
yeah.
have to go. Thank you so much for being here at Captain Adham. Thank you all very much for staying with us. There's a lot of messages that you have to read. People are loving on you. Thank you all for sticking with me. And Adham can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out SpanglishWorld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Blessings to you all, and we'll see you next week. Happy birthday!